We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are in chapter 8, text 11. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkar, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I know. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Yes. Let's read the purport. Lord Sri Krishna has recommended to Arjun the practice of Sat Chakra Yoga, in which one places the air of life between the eyebrows. Taking it for granted that Arjun might not know how to practice Sat Chakra Yoga, the Lord explains the process in the following verses. The Lord says that Brahman, although one without a second, has various manifestations and features. So in Brahman you can manifest whatever you like, right? Whatever you think gets manifested. Especially for the impersonalist, the Akshara or Omkar, the syllable Om, is identical with Brahman. Krishna here explains the impersonal Brahman into which the renounced order of sages enter. So how the sages enter this impersonal Brahman and what is the way to enter that, and then what happens to these sages. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from the very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master in complete celibacy. In this way, they realize two of Brahman's features. Yeah? This practice is very essential for the student's advancement in spiritual life, but at the moment, such brahmachari, that is unmarried celibate life, is not at all possible. Yeah? The social construction of the world has changed so much that there is no possibility of one's practicing celibacy from the beginning of student life. Throughout the world, there are many institutions for different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmachari principles. Schools ही बच्चे नहीं हैं जो ये educate कर सके, है ना? Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Although Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the scriptural injunctions for this age of Kali, that in this age no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except the chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's move to text 12. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Let's read the purport. To practice yoga as suggested here, one first has to close the doors of all sense enjoyment. We have to now like stop the door close means we don't have we have to reach a stage where we no more get excited or happy or nothing gets affected to us if any sense gratification activity is done, like listening to music doesn't give you that kind of pleasure, eating some different kind of food doesn't give you that kind of pleasure, smelling something great doesn't give you that pleasure. So once you reach that stage where you feel normal, there is no happy or sad, that means that the door of that sense has closed, that sense gratification has closed. So this practice is called pratyahar or withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. The sense organs for acquiring knowledge, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, should be fully controlled and should not be allowed to engage in self gratification. In this way, the mind focuses on the super soul in the heart, and the life force is raised to the top of the head. In the sixth chapter, this process is explained in detail. But as mentioned before, this practice is not practical in this age. The best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi. Let's move to text 13. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Yeah. Let's read the purport. It is clearly stated here that Om, Brahman, and Lord Krishna are not different. The impersonal sound of Krishna is Om, but the sound Hare Krishna contains Om. Really. The chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is clearly recommended for this age. So if one quits his body at the end of life, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he certainly reaches one of the spiritual planets according to the mode of his practice. Yes. The devotees of imagine this chance is never even able. I mean, you cannot have this chance if you are an animal because you won't be able to practice this chant. And we are so lucky that we are human beings in this life and we can chant and finally we can reach somewhere. You know, the devotees of Krishna enter the Krishna planet, Goloka Vrindavan. For the personalists, there are also innumerable other planets known as Vaikunt planets in the spiritual sky, whereas the impersonalists remain in the Brahma Jyoti. So the impersonalists to think that there is no human form or no form of Krishna, there is only one light or effulgence that we have to get into. They enter Brahma Jyoti. They enter that light. But they don't know that this light is emanating from the form of Krishna. Like as if the moon emanates light, but the moon itself is a planet. You can still touch it, feel it, right? Like that, it as a spiritual also you can feel the spirit, right? So that's how God is. God is spiritual and He is all pervading. So for example, all the planets in spiritual sky are self-illuminate. They don't need a sun, right? Let's read text 14. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Let's read the purport. This verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotees who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga. Previous verses have mentioned four different kinds of devotees, that is, distressed, inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. Different processes of liberation have also been described, that is, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga. The principles of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti yoga without any mixture of jnana, karma, and hat. As indicated by the word ananya chetaha, in pure bhakti yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Krishna. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the Brahma Jyoti or salvation or liberation from material entanglement. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkam, which means he has no desire for self interest. Perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. Whereas a Jnana yogi, Karma yogi, or Hatha yogi has his own selfish interest, a perfect devotee has no desire other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to Him, He is easy to attain. A pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Krishna in one of his various personal features. Krishna has various plenary expansions and incarnations such as Ram, Nrsimha, and a devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that plague the practitioners of other yogas. Bhakti Yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna. The Lord is merciful to all, but as we have already explained, He is especially inclined towards those who always serve Him without deviation. The Lord helps such devotees in various ways. As stated in the Vedas, Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, Yam Evaisya Ranutte Ranute Tena Labhyas Tasyasya Atma Vivranute Tanum Swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as He is. And as stated in Bhagwat Geeta 10.10, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. The Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain Him in his spiritual kingdom. The special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. Yes, this is so possible that I got one thought that, I got one thought one day that it's so difficult, like even to meditate, even to just chant in this age. And no matter how much we do in this life, we will definitely never reach a spiritual planet. So a thought came that you don't have to reach spiritual planet. You make this your spiritual planet. And that's when it just came to me that, oh wow, yes, why not? I can create it here. Why I have this desire to reach somewhere. So that's how Krishna plays, God plays with your mind and He gives you these solutions, ideas. So when you are very much conscious, you will be able to listen to what your mind is telling you to do. And that is how you will slowly start closing all the doors of sense gratification and you will be more leaned towards just bhakti yoga, because you will find a lot of peace when you do that. Yes. Yes. The special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. It was Sri Advait who told Lord Chaitanya, "Wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan." As indicated by the words Satatam and Nityasha, which means always, regularly, or every day, a pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna and meditates upon him. These are qualifications of the pure devotee for whom the Lord is most easily attainable. Bhakti Yoga is the system that Gita recommends above all others. Generally, the Bhakti yogis are engaged in 5 different ways. Shant Bhakta, engaged in devotional service in neutrality. Dasya Bhakta, engaged in devotional service as servant. You will see these people cleaning mandir, cleaning public areas, doing a lot of service to the public. Sakhya Bhakta, engaged as friend. Vatsalya Bhakta, engaged as parent. Madhurya Bhakta, engaged as conjugal lover of the Supreme Lord. So there are 5 ways in which you get engaged with the Lord. In any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord and cannot forget the Supreme Lord. And so for him, the Lord is easily attained. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment. And similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessing of the Krishna conscious process of chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. Let's move to text 15. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Let's read the purport. Since this temporary material world is full of the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death, naturally he who achieves the highest perfection and attains the supreme planet Krishna Lok Goloka Vrindavan does not wish to return. See, the wishing to return is obviously not there. But as you know, that when somebody reaches a spiritual planet and is not able to maintain the spiritual etiquettes or, starts falling from the path, he is sent back to earth again, right? And then again he overcomes or conquers his senses and he comes back to the spiritual world. This may sound as a small process, but this is like lifetimes and lifetimes of this soul that they have to go through. So, what we are trying to say here that nothing is permanent and nothing is constant except God. We keep evolving and we keep changing, you know. So we keep changing our place, location, time, everything. But God is there, same. Yes. The supreme planet is described in Vedic literature as Avyakta and Akshara and Paramagati. In other words, that planet is beyond our material vision and it is inexplicable, but it is the highest goal, the destination of the Mahatmas, that is the great souls. So some question may come that why has Shiv not yet reached there? Why has Brahma not yet reached there? You know? So even Brahma Brahmalok will reach there, and even Shiv Lok will reach there. And but they both have a planet, and they both have a sort of there's a sort of a calculation or a time when they will reach, but they will reach too, you know. The Mahatmas receive for like for example, they have explained how much is one day in Brahmalok. Okay, they've calculated in Bhagwat Geeta, and they've said that Brahmalok का एक दिन कितना बड़ा होता है और एक रात कितनी बड़ी होती है. So imagine um, how much time it will it take for them to reach. And definitely Earth is more of it's not a heavenly planet. Okay. So it's more of a hell of a planet. Okay. Hell planet where the time is running fast. People come and quickly finish their deeds and go back. That's why they prefer to come to Earth, because it is faster. The time runs fast. Whereas if they go in any other spiritual planet, or if they, of course, not spiritual planet, but any other planet like Brahmalok or Shivlok, it's going to take them a lot of time to go back, to do their actions or deeds and go back to spiritual world. Yeah. The Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets, nor do they even want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They only want Krishna and Krishna's association and nothing else. That is the highest perfection of life. This verse specifically mentions the personalist devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. These devotees in Krishna consciousness achieve the highest perfection of life. In other words, they are the Supreme Souls. Yes. So, you remember in Ramayana, Sita used to meditate, in Ashok One, right? And she had that capability that during her meditation, with her meditation, she could transcend so many planets around the world, around the universe, and meet people, and again, what do you say, help them or care for them, or even how do I say, heal them. You know, so she had this capability to reach various planets outside the Mother Earth with her meditation. And she was a great yogi. She was a bhakti yogi, and so she was very, very mentally strong that she could even enter Ravan's mind. Ravan is such a conquered person, very elevated, very guarded, and still she could enter his mind and make him uh, choose the right path. Still having the like, still there was time to choose the right path, right? And she would always come. So, like this, there are many people in our lives who come and show us the right path. And for a moment, we may think that, okay, yes, this is what I should do. But if you are always in doubts, you're always doubting yourself, you'll always doubt everyone who comes to you with any suggestions or right path, or because you will doubt it whether this will work for me or not. you know so we have to first inculcate self confidence and self faith, self reliance. Okay, if like for example, if I think that I can do this, then I have to believe in that and I have to keep complete faith without having any doubt that I won't be able to do, or without thinking of scenarios about what if I'm not able to do. We just have to think that I can do it and just get on with it rather than just sitting and thinking and wasting that time. Let's move to text 16. Yeah. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Let's read the purport. All kinds of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets, such as Brahmalok, Chandralok, and Indralok, fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice, called Panchagna Vidya, recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad, enables one to achieve Brahmalok. But if on Brahmalok one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baldev, Baladev Vidya Bhushana, in his commentary on Bhagwat Geeta, quotes this verse: Brahmana saha te sarve संप्राप्ते प्रति प्रतिसरण प्रतिसंकरे परस्यांते कृतात्मना कृतात्मना प्रविशान्ति param padam. When there is devastation of this material universe, so this material universe will also be annihilated by the Lord Krishna and it will cease to exist forever. Correct? That is called devastation of material universe. Brahma and his devotees are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, who are all constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. Yes. Let's end here with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's do some Radha Cha. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha.